Every time you've handed your car to a dealership for an electronic repair, you heard the same line. Only we can fix this. You believed it. You paid $2,000 to $4,000. And since 2018, manufacturers have been locking your car's software behind encrypted gates, not to protect you, but to protect that price tag. A legal loophole is dismantling that entire system, and the dealerships are terrified you'll find out how. In 2018, the automotive industry quietly executed a massive shift in how vehicles are serviced. Manufacturers began installing secure gateway modules, hardware firewalls embedded directly into the vehicle's communication network. For an everyday owner like Sandra, this architectural pivot turned a routine repair into an immediate financial hostage situation. Under this system, standard diagnostic ports no longer allow basic modifications or part registrations without an authenticated digital handshake from the manufacturer's server. To perform even basic calibrations, tools require proprietary, cloud-validated keys. Ford routes this programming through the Ford Diagnostic and Repair System, FDRS. General Motors relies on its software programming system, SPS2. Volkswagen and Audi guard their networks with a secure gateway requiring specialized registration, while Toyota locks its systems behind TechStream. Each of these platforms enforces a strict, VIN-locked subscription model. When a critical component like an engine control unit fails, a replacement cannot simply be bolted into place. The new module must be cryptographically paired to the car's specific vehicle identification number using an active manufacturer-issued token. If a tool cannot present this digital signature, the vehicle's gateway blocks the repair. Because independent garages have historically been locked out of these proprietary portals, dealerships monetize this gatekeeping, routinely charging between $2,000 and $4,000 for a standard ECU replacement. Automakers publicly justify this tight grip as a necessary measure for vehicle safety and cybersecurity, arguing that open ports expose cars to malicious hacking. Yet, the economic reality suggests a different motive. By restricting cryptographic keys, manufacturers have built a highly profitable toll booth, converting basic diagnostic access into a protected corporate revenue stream. This digital blockade seems absolute, but it contains a fundamental vulnerability. Auto manufacturers can write whatever software restrictions they want, but they do not write the laws of the land. A clear legal line exists between a manufacturer's private rules and what the law actually forbids. This regulatory gap is where the blacklist loophole thrives. Instead of resorting to illicit hacks, custom malware, or cracking encrypted code, independent mechanics use the vehicle owner's existing legal rights as a survival strategy. Under long-standing consumer protection laws, a car owner holds the absolute right to select their own repair provider. By acting as the owner's authorized agent, an independent shop can legally request the exact same digital authentication keys a dealership uses. It is a legitimate, standardized pathway built on explicit owner consent rather than software piracy. Once this authorized access is established, standard, vendor-neutral diagnostic tools suddenly gain full communication with the vehicle's locked gateway. This teamwork coordinates a parallel repair network, turning a system designed for corporate gatekeeping into an open, competitive market. To manage the high cost of individual factory software accounts, independent garages pool resources through credential cooperatives. Groups like the Cars Co-op and Opus 4S allow multiple facilities to share the financial weight of active, legitimate digital connections. When a car arrives at a member shop, the technician uses this collective network to request the required manufacturer-signed token. Brokered authorization networks operationalize this pathway. Services like Repairify and Aztec act as immediate, cloud-based intermediaries. When an independent shop needs to program a locked gateway, they submit the owner's signed consent alongside the vehicle identification number. The service validates the vehicle identification number, purchases a time-limited cryptographic token directly from the manufacturer's database, and routes it to the shop's diagnostic tool. Hardware manufacturers integrate these secure pipelines directly into their equipment. The Snap-on Secure Vehicle Gateway and the Autel Token Service automate this exchange. When plugged into an OBD2 port, These platforms automatically verify the mechanic's account, request the session token, and bypass the blockade on the fly. To maintain strict legal legitimacy, this entire network relies on the National Automotive Service Task Force, or NASTF. Through its secure data release model, NASTF runs background checks on independent technicians, issuing the secure credentials required for high-security module programming. This registry establishes a formal, auditable chain of custody. It proves that the mechanic is acting on the owner's explicit behalf, transforming a locked corporate gate into a standard, legally authorized service entrance. A separate legal strategy bypasses the programming suite entirely through the parts supply chain. Certified remanufacturers source original, rebuildable engine control units, restore them to factory specifications, and pre-flash the correct firmware before the part ever arrives at a local garage. When a mechanic installs one of these remanufactured modules, the component already carries a physical certificate of compatibility and a digital paper trail showing its firmware history. This strict provenance tracking establishes the part's legal legitimacy, proving the software inside is unmodified, factory-approved code. By sourcing a ready-compatible control unit, the independent shop removes the dealer programming step from the service bay altogether. This workaround relies on established supply chain standards rather than software manipulation, ensuring the repair remains fully compliant with federal safety guidelines. The final phase of a modern electronic repair requires absolute precision, calibrating advanced driver assistance systems, ADAS. A new windshield, a replaced bumper, or a minor suspension alignment can easily throw off forward-facing cameras, blind spot radar, and safety sensors. While dealerships routinely charge $1,200 to $1,500 for these mandatory calibrations, independent centers like Relux Collision and Right Choice Autoglass perform the exact same work for $300 to $500. Using vendor-neutral diagnostic platforms paired with authorized cloud tokens, these local specialists align the vehicle's digital eyes to precise factory tolerances. This specialized network handles the technical finish work that completes the job. It proves that the independent repair market extends far beyond simple diagnostics, delivering a safe, dealer-equivalent calibration at a fraction of the cost. This path operates within strict, legally defined boundaries. State statutes like Massachusetts Section 93K2, Maine Section 1810, and California's Right It Right guidelines protect access, but only for non-safety critical repairs. A firm line separates legitimate service from illegal tampering. Safety-critical components, specifically airbags, emissions controls, and anti-theft immobilizers, remain strictly off-limits. Legality depends on explicit owner consent and the specific system type being serviced. To maintain compliance, independent shops use detailed customer authorization forms, active diagnostic logs, and traceable parts records as formal liability shields, keeping these practical workarounds entirely within the law. Dealerships routinely charge between $400 and $600 to program a single modern key fob. An independent shop using brokered credentials runs the exact same software handshake for $80 to $150. When it comes to advanced safety sensors, the dealership price tag for ADAS recalibration sits around $1,200, while specialty calibrators complete the service for $300 to $500. Across the board, utilizing these lawful workarounds slashes complex electronic repair bills by 60 to 70%. This is concrete, bill-to-bill proof that breaking the dealership monopoly directly protects the consumer's wallet. Bypassing the dealership blockade requires the vehicle owner to become an active participant. Mechanics need specific documentation to request secure tokens legally, a signed owner consent form, and formal proof of ownership, like a vehicle registration or title. When hiring an independent garage, choose shops with established locked system repair protocols. Always request copies of the brokered access receipts and parts origin paperwork to keep the entire repair history fully documented. While national right to repair momentum pressures manufacturers toward tiered open access within 5 years, these practical steps remain a necessary survival strategy for the immediate future. Your car is your property, not a subscription service. Choosing certified independent mechanics rejects the illusion of dealer-only control. The right to repair starts with refusing to believe we have no choice. Share your thoughts on dealership lockouts below and subscribe.